everyone. So, yeah. Real quick, trigger warnings for transphobia, turf nonsense, and sexual assault. Still here? Cool. So, I'm not going to read all of this because I will make sure it's in the chat for you guys to look at, but I want you to tell me where you can see the issue. Like, where do you see the problem? The title of this article from 5 days ago is, "We're being pressured into sex by some trans women." Yikes. It's a big yikes for me.
This was posted on BBC News.
That's a big yikes outlet for me. So this is by Carolyn Lowbridge. Don't know who that is. Is a lesbian transphobic if she does not want to have sex with a trans woman? Some lesbians say they are increasingly being pressured and coerced to accept trans women as partners. We're going to be talking about the response to this because this article is nonsense. So I've gone through here a little bit, and I've also talked to a number of people who have gone through this in depth. The simple fact is that this entire article is just based on pretty much just turf reports, but nothing actually concrete as far as data. One of the big discussions that I want to kind of frame this around is the idea of what is called genital preferences. That being that there is a discussion that has happened many times about, are genital preferences transphobic?
Mm-hmm.
My take on this is no, but big asterisks here. If you just have a natural preference towards a certain type of genitals, and that is entirely based on those preferences, just like you really like vaginas, just really dig them, I don't think that's necessarily transphobic if this person doesn't have that. That's fair. But if it's based on them being trans, it's no different than super straight. It's just another bypass to say that you are not interested in this person because they're trans, which to me is transphobic. If you're not interested in them because they're not attractive to you, that's fine. If you're not interested in them because they are trans and that status immediately is a deal breaker, that is transphobic by definition. This is literally the super straight argument. So again, I'm not going to go through this because I just don't want to subject this all to you. And after being yelled at by a hypno-trans girl enough times about not propping up right-leaning people so that I don't accidentally like radicalize my fucking community, this one's for you, love. Okay, so we get the typical things that we saw from the gender critical video. I can hear their male vocal cords. I can see their male jawline. It's again, the hands, the powdered on, caked on makeup. It's burgeoning. Right? And so this goes on to a lot of nonsense, a lot of bullshit. I'm not going to pay it much mind here. Lesbian, not queer. By the way, I'm just going to say for the record, I am hyper fucking like suspicious of anyone that's against queer. It's just my new rule in my head. If that person does not if people don't understand that queer can be reclaimed, if they're just going to take the most moralizing and frankly black and white stance they can on this, no. It is literally a massive outside the UN flag. Must not mention she who must not be named. Anyway. So, this is this nonsense. This is, oh no, it's Rose of Dawn. Some of her lesbian friends have been pressured into accepting trans women as sexual partners. This is what we call a bad faith actor. This is a conservative who regularly throws other trans people under the bus. Yeah, no, she is super discount Blair White. And so again, this is just the longest article, and I'm not going to pay mind for someone who's writing TERF propaganda. So we're going to look at it through a site I do like, which is Lesbian Nation, LGBTQ Nation. So would you like this?
Yeah.
Let's go through
I also told Jess I was going to cry if we went through that entire article because I only have so much stomach for TERF nonsense.
So this came out like literally, there's the 27th. So this came out like a day or two after. Let's fucking go. Tell me if you guys can't hear anything.
The BBC is receiving a huge backlash for publishing an anonymously sourced article that quotes transphobic hate groups to claim that transgender women are threatening and shaming lesbians into having sex with...
This is super loud.
Yeah, what is it doing? Well, at least hopefully everyone can hear it.
That's true.
So again, the LGBTQ organizations say that the article could be used to deny transgender rights by relying on stereotypes that trans women are sex predators. Yup.
Yeah.
A BBC article is entitled "We're Being Pressured into Sex by Some Trans Women" and was written by Caroline Lowbridge, who discussed a study of lesbians recruited by an anti-trans organization who claimed that they feel pressured to have sex with trans women, even if they're already in relationships with cis women, out of fear of being called transphobic.
So again, this doesn't happen.
That's a whole lot of nonsense.
I fucking need goddamn sources. Because I want to know who's doing... Like, there's no one doing this. You are not transphobic if you're not attracted to somebody. That's fine. That is your Satan-given right. You do not.
I don't know if the site does spoilers.
I don't think it does do spoilers. So, yeah, did Ariel Scarcella write this? Lol, true. So... no one's doing this. And again, I would argue that there probably is some turfy nonsense going on. So let's keep going with this.
The article profiled anonymous lesbians who said they'd received threats of violence, rape, and death for not wanting to sleep with trans women and for not accepting the idea that a penis can be a female sex organ. Others said they had been accused of being a genital fetishist, a pervert, or a trans-exclusionary radical feminist, TERF, for not wanting to sleep with trans women. One woman claimed a trans woman pressured her into having sex when she was drunk and couldn't have given proper consent. Another said a trans woman raped her. Yet another compared dating trans women to being forced into conversion therapy to change one's sexual orientation.
So again... let's go into this. Genitals are by their nature not a particular form of sexuality one way or the other. I'm just going to say it. If anyone has seen ContraPoints' video about Are Traps Gay, a genital's use determines what is going on there. There is a difference between a girl's dick and a guy's dick. Like, they're just physical differences. Hormones change things immensely. And so the idea that it's not a female organ, again, we made these terms up. XX, XY, all these are is linguistic forms of like, categorization that we made and are hugely loaded with cultural data. We could call them anything. We could just say A and B. Now, if you're not attracted to those, that's fine. But this idea that, again, you just don't like trans people and then you're whining because you're being called a TERF. Again, so they're saying they got death threats. I would want to see screenshots. They're saying threats of violence. Now, I will say the violence and death stuff does happen sometimes when TERFs are saying shit. A lot of younger trans people will lash out. I'm not condoning that. But again, that shit can happen. Additionally, the ideas of threats of sexual assault, I want fucking screenshots because I do not think that's true. And again, remember, they said this is from anonymous lesbians. How much you want to bet they're all fucking members of TERF organizations? Just saying.
Yeah. Well, I noticed that, like, all of these things have that framing that still have, like, trans women are just men trying to assault women.
True.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's just it's still here.
We're still seeing the same dog whistles that they usually use.
Yeah, except touted by the BBC.
Yeah. Yep.
The article cited an anti-trans lesbian group called Get the L Out, which ran a small survey of 80 women already affiliated with the group. The critically flawed study found that 56% of respondents reported being pressured or coerced to have sex with a trans woman. The article also quoted the anti-trans UK group LGB Alliance, which claimed, without proof, that a sizable minority of trans women pressure lesbians into sex. Both LGB Alliance and Get the L Out actively campaign against transgender civil rights, and Get the L Out has protested prides because of their opposition to transgender rights.
So, a bunch of KKK members claim that they were called racist because they didn't want to sleep with brown people, and that some of these brown people called them racist for not wanting to do that. They're still KKK members. I'm sorry. Like, the LGB Alliance is a hate group. It is an organized hate group made to fight trans rights. Organized by all the old fuckers that got out of Stonewall and a bunch of other organizations because, just like always, trans people are at the bottom of the totem pole as far as the LGBT. Get the L out. Well, I mean, no. I generally identify these days as a lesbian, so I'm not getting out. I like being in the acronym. And being that you ignore non-binary identities, you would then say my partner would be true in their assessment that they're a lesbian, but they're with me, and they're still a lesbian. They have sex with me, still a lesbian.
Another woman in the article acknowledged that pressuring cis lesbians to have sex with trans women is an extreme view that doesn't reflect the views of trans women she knows in real life. The CEO of the UK LGBTQ group Stonewall provided a quote for the article stating that anyone who writes off an entire group of people should consider how societal prejudices may have shaped your attractions.
Fucking true. So there's two parts of that I really like. So the idea that this is an extreme view, like, again, I don't know a single trans woman who has ever thought like this. This idea that, like, a cis woman is transphobic for not finding you attractive, like, that is totally fine. Like, that's totally fine. But if you say some transphobic bullshit, spoiler alert, we're gonna call you out on it. That's the problem. These are women that are part of hate groups. And I guarantee it went down in a couple different ways. Some of it went down probably of them just saying hateful rhetoric. Some of it went down to the fact that the trans girl passed, and when they found out she was trans, they went full fucking, like, Ace Ventura about it. This other part about Stonewall's point is that, yeah, societal prejudice may have shaped your attractions. Yes. If you have a passing trans girl who happens to be non-op or pre-op, and you are attracted to everything but that part of her, I would then contend that that's something I would explore. If you are still not interested, no one is coercing you, no one is pushing you, no one is saying you have to do anything any particular way. What we are saying is that your societal prejudices based around what organs are on one person are based on very binary and frankly non-scientific ideals.
And that it might be time to maybe ask yourself some questions and maybe learn a little bit more about yourself at that point.
Yeah, like, I'm not, like, I'm sorry, like, I just don't have this thing where I'm like, I've never, before I transitioned, I never had, like, a big calling to dick, but the simple fact of the matter is that, like, yeah, if we ever opened our relationship or whatnot, I'd be open to be dating a trans girl. Why? Because she's a girl and I like girls.
Well, and like, Rainbow Dick, I gotta be honest, like, There's so much more than just the body part itself, and it's so weird to see that get so confused and lost in all of this, right? This framing of sexuality is like, it's just about the body parts. What? Because no, like, shit changes when you're absolutely into each other.
My sexual orientation is based on their entire biology, regardless of what they perform as gender or how they present. Their affectations don't matter as long as they have a vagina and, like, what? And people wonder why butch lesbians get so much shit. Holy fuck. Like, I can't with these fucking people. They're fucking idiots. Yeah, essentializing people's body parts is insane.
Yup.
Let's keep going.
When asked about the article, the BBC told Pink News that the topic is a complex subject and that the article went through a rigorous editorial process before being published.
Bullshit!
It is important that journalism looks at issues, even where there are strongly held positions, the BBC said, defending the article. The BBC is here to ensure debate and to make sure a wider range of voices are heard. The pro-trans watchdog group, Trans Media Watch, TMW, noted that some of the tweets quoted in the article were part of a false flag campaign intended to vilify the trans community as pressuring others into having sex with them.
The plot thickens.
TMW wrote of the report, either the BBC have failed to do due diligence on this story, or the team producing this story have knowingly colluded in a disinformation campaign targeted at trans people. Irresponsible reporting like this is dangerous. It significantly and adversely impacts trans people's day-to-day lives.
Yeah, so I'm going to double down on this again. You guys should have that emote. I'm just going to say real quick, you should have that emote. I think we need to use it more.
I hate how rape and sexual assault and, pedophilia, all of it gets used as weapons. I really, really do.
Well, especially against trans women or LGBT people as a whole. Like those are go-tos. So why give platform to this stuff? Because I think it's important for us to know where our enemies are at and what weapons they're using against us, and that's why I'm not showing the article itself, but I'm showing an article about it, Maria. So the point with this I want to be really clear with is that this is no different than when Littman decides to source a bunch of Mumsnets and shit like that for her article about rapid onset gender dysphoria, right? It's just shit sourcing. This got sourced from false flag campaigns. This is just bad data. This is just badly done journalism in this case. This is by definition how you frame propaganda. And people go, this doesn't do harm. It absolutely fucking does. We talked about this, we talked about this during the whole Dave Chappelle thing. By Dave Chappelle referring to trans women's genitals as impossible pussy or whatever framing. The simple fact of the matter is, by definition, you are asserting that trans women's genitals are not valid, and the fact of the matter is that feeds into shit. There are still numerous states with the trans panic defense. For those who don't know what that is, I will say it again and again until you guys get it. The trans panic defense is literally when someone can harm you or kill you because they find out you're trans. It can be looked at as a temporary form of insanity. Again, I'm not a lawyer. Tiamat said, Jess, Maria was talking about the BBC platforming the article, not you platforming the discussion. Got it. Thank you for the clarification, Tiamat. My apologies, Maria. So, let's keep going. This is almost over, and I hate these people.
An open letter opposing the BBC's article, signed by 10,378 people and addressed to the BBC's upper management and editorial staff, says, the clear implication of the article and its headline is that transgender women as a minority group pose a threat to cisgender lesbians, and should therefore have their rights restricted in the U.K. The letter slams the BBC, saying, there is basically no evidence for the claim that this is happening in any sort of numbers that would justify generalizing this as a widespread experience.
True.
The Get the L Out survey results come from a group who believe transgender people should not feel safe at Pride, and should have to face misgendering, slurs, and claims that they are rapists. This is not an unbiased source, the letter continues.
What is this? This Adam Smith? Headline, lesbians pressured into sex with trans women. Evidence, a social media survey of just 80 people, only half of which actually agreed with from a group condemned by Pride in London. This is fucking propaganda. Adam Smith based and true.
Yup.
No, this is by definition fucking propaganda. Holy shit.
Nadine Batchelor-Hunt, political correspondent for Yahoo News UK, criticised LiQWYD and the BBC for using the group's survey as a source, Gay Times reported. That BBC article about trans people is disgusting, I won't share it as I don't want to promote it. But whoever commissioned it should be ashamed, Batchelor-Hunt wrote. An article based on a social media poll by a group hostile to trans people with a headline that will drum up hatred is despicable. The Independent's science reporter Adam Smith also called the article propaganda.
Yeah, it fucking is. Holy shit, it's bad science and propaganda. Holy shit, MMM, thank you so much for the two gifted tier 1 subs for Morningstar Council and Tiamat.
Oh,
fucking based, thank you.
My power grows.
Now you have 2 circles. Beyond safe words, I can't help but think of epistemic injustice and violence. Can I come on to talk about it at some point? You always can come on.
Yeah.
We love you.
Yeah,
I think the epistemic injustice violence framework offers useful lenses for understanding and explaining the harm that these articles do. I also validate xenogenders with facts and logic. So do I. I use facts and logic, just like the Shapiro. No, if you want to come on sometime, that'd be great. And I think that would be really good because, again, like this is just propaganda. This is just like literally like Adam Smith is correct. Tiamat is our mod dragon, and we love her.
The aforementioned open letter also notes that the article doesn't interview any cis lesbians who are attracted to transgender women.
Weird.
It also states that the BBC article perpetuates a dangerous stereotype depicting trans people as sexual predators, a stereotype used to justify violence and legislative action against trans people. The BBC has been continually platforming anti-trans hate groups and anti-trans perspectives, without covering the perspectives of the transgender community themselves.
Zaya Greymine,
true.
True.
This is an egregious example, but it's certainly not an isolated incident, the letter states near its conclusion. The author of the article reportedly deleted her Twitter account 18 minutes after her article was published. Other UK trans allies have begun tweeting messages with the hashtag #CisWithThe to show solidarity with the trans community in the face of the transphobic article.
Karen Lowbridge, the author of the horrendous BBC article, is no longer on Twitter, but cached tweets show that she has been working on this article for over a year. Despite this, the article itself only speaks to 3 people who are supposedly affected by this issue. I love that hashtag. Fucking, by the way, everyone, Karen Lowbridge has deleted her Twitter account when I looked only 18 minutes after the article had gone up. Likely, it was already gone. Remember, this is when they try to claim that she was forced off social media by abuse later. They'll try to claim that. That's fucking true. Imagine being such a terrible journalist that you write a summary of a quote where you completely mischaracterize the intentions of the speaker, and then you include the quote so that everyone with reading comprehension skills above that of a 4th grader can see you're an idiot. Wow. Every single trans activist and activist group with a countering opinion to Carolyn Lowbridge's that she reached out to for comment declined to speak with her, and she still wrote it anyway. And then the BBC was like, yes, that was an amazing journalism, run it. Fucking true. Natalie Washington again. By the way, everyone, Carolyn Lowbridge, that's not what we looked at before. Of course, I am ignoring the main issue that a journalist has clearly used their platform to actively seek evidence which they would use to mythologize and persecute a minority group as being a threat to women. As Judith Butler argued, it's straight out of the fascist playbook. Dr. Alex Powell fucking based. Zayai said in YouTube chat, a TERF is just a Nazi without specific nation to be nationalistic about. True, and I made this argument about fucking Dave Chappelle. We've talked about the history of like Nazism and fascism and the way transphobia fits into that, and the undercurrent of how fascism is inherently part of conservatism, and how there's a very strong connection in many, many groups, including many marginalized groups, of conservatism, like, for example, conservative black men, where this gets to be really problematic. Again, fascism is just emotional appeals and misogyny rolled into a lying lens of war, profit, I don't know what that, war, something, I got nothing. Sorry, my brain lost track. ADHD's a bitch. Fascism is by definition feels before reals. Super fucking true. Yeah, Dr. Alex Powell, fucking based. The entire basis for that shameful BBC article is a social media poll that only 80 people in a self-selected group responded to. That is not journalism. Warmongering. Thank you.
There you go, yeah.
That's the word I needed. Tiamat, you're beautiful. That's scraping the barrel to find something, anything that can be used against a vulnerable group you don't like. And they go on. Trans people are being monstered exactly as gay and bisexual people are, as would-be sexual predators, recruiters of children, defilers of biological reality, sufferers of a mental condition, creepy fetishes, and so on. Stand with our trans siblings. Owen Joan, fucking based and transpilled. And they go on. They just keep going. And they don't stop coming, and they don't stop coming. Guys, like, again, realize this. Anyone that ever says that trans people aren't persecuted is an idiot. They just are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Transphobia has its roots in fascism. There's a reason why TERFs are often anti-Semitic, often racist, often get weird about genitals, and a whole bunch of other crazy shit, which is documented all over Twitter because we save those screenshots. I need you guys to understand. That is not journalism, what this lady did. What she did was spend a year writing a hit piece using the weakest data humanly possible to frame trans women as some kind of predators for political agenda points rather than cite any kind of studies or data. Please be aware of this stuff. Again, transphobia has its basis in fascism. There is no arguing this. This is a factual piece of data. You have anything you want to add?
No, I think I just
shaking your head and I'm not even angry. I'm just hatefully disappointed.
I mean, like, my partner is a trans woman. All right. No, this stuff really hits because I know that this stuff can get used. One of the kids that we know in the area, like, we found, they came out by accident. Okay, ADHD is a thing. And it looked really awesome at first. And then we were asking them how they were going, how they were doing. And they started saying, telling us the stuff that their mom was telling them. And, yeah. And we're like, no, fuck, that's a TERF. And so here we are explaining to, a young teen what a TERF is. Because no, it's absolutely doing harm. They're struggling through school. They're struggling socially right now. They're having a lot of dysphoria. It's not an easy situation to be in. And no, I think about them every time. TERFs come up. I think about my partner every time TERFs come up. Like, this stuff does harm. And as much as I don't want to engage in it, I don't want to look at it. I know it's still important to be aware of what kind of, shit's being said, what kind of stuff is going around, because that way I've got a better chance of combating it when it comes up, in other places. But no, I absolutely do think about this stuff. And
I'm sorry you have to see this stuff, Kisses.
I know, it's not your fault. I really care about people, and this stuff sucks, because no, it's absolutely a fucking hate group.
I think we can end this segment with what Jessica Metal said. I feel like it's a good way. It's a good ending prayer. I wish TERFs a very go fuck yourself.
Yes.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching. If you
like this video, please like, comment, and subscribe. You can also ring the bell if you want to be notified of our videos. If you want to help the channel, you can donate at streamlabs.com/transgirltherapist/tip. You also can become a patron at patreon.com/transgirltherapist. As low as $3, you can support our channel. Thanks for watching.